Tesla recently announced that it had purchased $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin as a means of investing their cash reserves. And that news did not sit well with the renowned goldbug and Bitcoin bear, Peter Schiff. Schiff tweeted that 2 weeks after Elon Musk announced that he spent $1.5 billion buying Bitcoin, Tesla stock entered a bear market, plunging 20% from its all-time high. Not an example other CEOs will likely follow. Elon replied with an airtight argument, the eggplant emoji. The eggplant emoji is now everywhere on Peter Schiff's replies, and he has taken the vegetable as his crown, accepting his new title as Peter Eggplant Schiff. Even the CEO of Chinese crypto exchange Binance had to Google Elon's use of the emoji. See, you learn something new every day. If you don't know who this new Eggplant King is, Peter Schiff is an investor who has made a name for himself over the past by being very bullish on gold. As most goldbugs do, Schiff sees gold as a hedge against the US dollar. To him, it's the best way of protecting his money against ever-growing inflation. In the past year, with JPow and Yellen's money printer going every day, Schiff has continued tooting the horn of gold, saying that it's a safe haven from the crashing value of the US dollar. Bitcoin bulls have obviously said you should hedge against the dollar with Bitcoin rather than gold, whereas Schiff has very publicly been a bear of Bitcoin and regularly declares that it's a bubble. So these two do not see eye to eye on Bitcoin. But before Elon and Schiff were talking eggplants, their exchange goes back to them discussing Bitcoin's validity as a currency against fiat's validity as a currency. Elon said in December and again in February that Bitcoin is almost as BS as fiat money. The key word is almost. Fiat money is currency issued by a government's central bank that isn't backed by a commodity such as gold. The only thing that makes fiat money have value is the fact that the government issuing it says it has value. As a matter of fact, the name fiat comes from the Latin word fiat, which means let it be done. We're calling this specific valueless paper our currency. Let it be done. The only thing giving Bitcoin value is the fact that it's a limited resource that seems to have gained acceptance as a commodity that people are willing to pay a certain amount of currency for. The thing giving Bitcoin its value is the market around it, which sets its price 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In a year, Bitcoin could be trading near $100,000 like Pomp and the Winklevi say, or it could be trading around zero, as the goldbugs say. So on one side of this argument, we have Elon Musk, a brilliant engineer who sees Bitcoin as one of the most efficient ways of trading value from party to party. And on the other side of the argument, we have Peter Schiff, who is shouting that fiat and Bitcoin are inherently valueless and could one day tumble into worthlessness. So who is the real eggplant here? Is Elon on another Twitter tirade, or is Schiff full of shit? Let's find out. As I said before, this exchange started when Elon tweeted that Bitcoin is almost as BS as fiat money. Schiff agreed with Elon's remark that Bitcoin and fiat are BS, but he thinks that fiat is a little more secure than Bitcoin simply because it is the reserve currency of the central bank producing and backing it. At least somebody is going to make sure the currency survives. There's that money printer firing up again. After this exchange, Elon went on to explain his stance that money is just data that allows us to avoid the inconvenience of barter. He then said that the system will evolve to the method that minimizes latency and error, implying that Bitcoin is the most efficient method of transferring value at the moment. Now, this is where Schiff really disagrees with Elon. He says that Bitcoin is a terribly inefficient currency. The way Bitcoin works is that every transaction is made a part of the public record of the blockchain. So when two people exchange Bitcoin, their wallet addresses and the transaction amount go out and become written into the public ledger of the blockchain, and that provides the system of public checks so that no Bitcoins are duplicated and all the proper values are exchanged. So this results in a lot of calculations and computing power necessary to keep the blockchain updated. And sometimes transactions won't post for a few hours. But this wasn't enough for Schiff. Not only does he say that Bitcoin is terribly inefficient as a currency, but what does he say is the most efficient currency out there? You know what he said. He said gold. Schiff's stance is that gold is a very efficient currency because you can just hand someone a bar of gold in exchange for goods or services. I mean, even on his podcast, he said that if you want to transfer a huge amount of wealth, you could just transfer the title of your gold vault over to somebody else, because everybody has a gold vault. Schiff says that right now, Bitcoin is just digital tokens that are trading on a marketplace, and people are exchanging money so that they can collect the most tokens. Now, here's where we get to my editorializing. See, I totally follow Schiff's argument up to this point, and I see what he's saying, but I don't know how much I agree with it. The nature of goldbugs is that they're basically bears for any market. They advocate the acquisition of gold as a hedge against the US dollar. So if you want to buy into the purest form of a goldbugs argument, they're saying that total economic collapse is possible at any moment and you better cover yourself with gold. They're like economic preppers, which I think is a valid concern, but in moderation. Time and time again, goldbugs have been proven wrong, that central banks are very happy to keep the money printers rolling, to keep covering their costs and debts and make the economy flow. Then the goldbugs just shout their fears louder, saying that everything's going to come toppling down even harder. And maybe they'll be right someday. But Schiff is not only personally invested in the performance of gold, he sells gold. That's right. Schiff Gold is very happy to sell you grams, ounces, or kilograms of gold and silver. And wait, due to high demand right now, they've instituted an order minimum of 2 ounces of gold. That's not how demand works. So let's just say that Schiff is very invested in gold's performance and could certainly be motivated to scare people into hedging against market moves by buying gold from him. And the way I see it, lots of Schiff's arguments against Bitcoin are just as valid arguments against fiat currency. He says they're backed by nothing. They have no tangible value. He says that gold can be used as a precious metal for jewelry, it can be used industrially in electronics or in aerospace applications, but Bitcoin, paper fiat, they have no practical use, he says. Their only valuable trait is their fixed scarcity. Wait. Bitcoin have a fixed scarcity. Only 21 million Bitcoins will be mined, but the money printer just keeps on printing. As a matter of fact, more than $9 trillion were printed in 2020, which means that an estimated 22% of US currency in circulation was printed last year. So Bitcoin isn't so much like digital fiat as it is like digital gold. If you watched my previous video, you know that Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, sees Bitcoin's value as a gold-like commodity. So why can't Peter Schiff? Is it because he thinks it's possible people have found a different hedge against the dollar in Bitcoin? He concedes that it trades on a market and even says that Bitcoin could go up to $100,000 a coin, but says they have no tangible value beyond that. Well, frankly, if Bitcoin is just as good as fiat currency in his eyes, I think I'm content with that. Fiat currency has worked for a long time. It hasn't been perfect and likely won't be perfect anytime soon. But with an outside agency granting a token value, whether it's a central bank backing a dollar or a decentralized group of people trading digital tokens, that's a commodity with value. Maybe it's not a currency, but it's a storehold of value. It can go up or down over time, or maybe it's even in a bubble right now that might burst in a very ugly way. But that's the amazing thing about markets. If you have something that somebody wants, you can name your price. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and share it with a friend. What do you think of the whole Bitcoin versus fiat versus gold situation? What about Peter Schiff's arguments? Honestly, he's obviously a very smart, experienced guy, but I can't help but feel that he's particularly motivated to always be a bear in all situations. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Check out my Instagram and Twitter at Ross_Campoli. I can post over there more frequently since my channel isn't big enough for me to use like the community posting stuff on YouTube. So if you want to hear from me more frequently between videos, You can follow me there. Subscribe to my channel for more videos about business, money, and influence. But that said, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you in the next one. Is Elon on another Twitter tirade, or is Peter Schiff full of